Life is certainly not predictable, so planning things out, planning a week, planning a month, a quarter, or even a year can be really challenging because one day you think, yes, I'm going to do that, and the next day it's completely out the window. So what I want to do is go through how I actually plan, hint, it's not using Notion, to keep myself on track and keep myself moving forwards in a direction that I actually want to go in. Many of you familiar with my channel will know that perhaps productivity apps are things that I use and explore all of the time, but when it comes to overall planning, I don't like the Gantt chart, the timeline view, or whatever other view you can get. I like a traditional spreadsheet. Now that may sound a little bit odd. Why do I use a spreadsheet for my planning when I have all my tasks and my projects in my task manager, my project manager, whatever that happens to be, Notion, ClickUp, Trello, Asana, Airtable, whatever app? At the end of the day, it comes down to personal preference. And I think because of my postgraduate degree in strength and conditioning, a lot of the periodization work and research that I looked into for physical development, physical preparation for high-performance athletes, I used Excel or Google Sheets. Either one works. And I got used to looking at things in a whole year view on a spreadsheet, which is why it suits me. You could do it in any Gantt chart view, any timeline view, but spreadsheets suit me, and this is why. When I'm looking at an entire year, I want to be able to see everything on one page. I don't want to have to scroll backwards and forwards, up and down, or anything like that. And you can do that in some views. You can make them shorter. But I want to be able to see each individual day quite clearly. And I also want to be able to see the weeks quite clearly so I can differentiate and plan for the weeks and plan for the days and months and quarters all within one view, and I don't have to change between the views. Because obviously my planning has sensitive data in there, not just mine, but other people, things like people that I've worked with, and loads of other notes and things that have happened over last year, and I'm still working on the one for next year. Let me know in the comments below if you want to see me plan out 2021 with you guys. But this template is dynamic and it works for me with conditional formatting and the rest of that inside of Google Sheets, but this is what my planning looks like in the year, in the week, in the months, everything like that. So what I will do is I will look at the year, I will look at the weeks, I will look at the months, and I will decide where my focus is. So I work on the basis that every day I personally have a baseline. I have a baseline of energy I can give, so I need to work out some way of either hitting that baseline or not going over the baseline so I don't burn out, because hey, let's not burn out, that's not fun. And when it comes to energy expenditure or how much effort you put into something during the day, essentially you've got three stages. You've got progress, so I'm going to progress, I'm going to do something that may be expending more energy than your baseline. Maintenance, so expending the amount of energy you have during that day, so doing kind of what's expected. And then an active rest, which is typically below baseline, but you don't want to do active rest too long because then you could decrease and that becomes your new baseline. And the same thing, if you progress all the time, you could increase that baseline, but be careful because you may burn out. So what I do is I treat a quarter in business as a season for whatever sport it is. So each quarter is essentially a season. Then inside the quarter, I have mesocycles, which are 4 weeks, about. So that quarter will have a focus. Maybe that is just YouTube, or maybe that is business. There could be loads of different focuses for that quarter. But then inside that quarter, in those mesocycles, i.e. those 4 weeks, I will then have a more refined goal, I guess you could say, inside those 4 weeks, but these goals aren't specifically measurable when it comes to vanity metrics or anything like that. It is purely just action-based. So as an example, if YouTube was Q1 and the first 4 weeks may be YouTube, I need to focus on this, then I will set a target of, say I want to do 2 videos a week, that would be 8 videos in total for that mesocycle. And by working backwards from the quarter to the mesocycle, which is about a month, is 4 weeks, and then to the week, I now know, right, this is my focus, so I'm aligned with where I want to go, and I need to do these 2 videos. Now, these 2 videos I could either maintain, so I could do 2 videos that I know would maintain my baseline. I can do that much effort. I could put 8 hours into this video and it would hit level pegging. So it may perform just average on my YouTube channel. I know roughly where that baseline is. Or I could go with progress, so I could really push the boundaries. I could push the limits of my video creation, or I could rest. Now, I'm going to balance these things dependent on what else I'm going to be doing. So business and YouTube, they're 2 different things. They're 2 different goals. If Q1, I'm going to focus on YouTube, then the business-focused energy, that's going to be either maintenance or rest while I progress with YouTube. And vice versa. If business is my seasonal goal, then YouTube may be maintenance or rest. So they will fluctuate up and down. And I'm just using YouTube and business as an example. There are loads of other things that are incorporated into goals. Maybe that's conversions, maybe that's lead gen, maybe that's marketing, maybe that's social life, maybe that's sport or athlete. There could be loads of other targets, and they will fluctuate between progress, maintenance, and rest. Now for me, when I'm looking at targets, goals, and things that I want to do, there are two main words that I think about: fun and finances. Because essentially, if you're not having fun, you're going to burn out or you're not going to enjoy life, which, I mean, that's what we're meant to be doing, right? And then you've got finances, because to an extent, you need to have enough finances to live comfortably, because let's be real, the world works on money, so you need enough money to live comfortably. Now, when it comes to financial goals, that is personal preference. That's entirely up to you. But for me, I want to be able to live comfortably. I'm not that fussed about the luxuries and the rest of it. I don't care about mansions and cars and all that rubbish. I don't care. I just want to have a house and food. Sorted. Financial goals, done. Then enjoy myself, have fun, enjoy what I'm doing. And how I check myself on these two things, financial goals is quite an easy one to check. Am I in a house, and do I have enough food, and is it sustainable? Those three things. If I can do all of that, I'm good pretty much. When it comes to fun, there are two big questions I use. Every day, every single day, I will ask myself, do I want to get started with the day? If I want to get started with the day, I know I'm doing something exciting during the day. Then, the second question, at the end of the day, do I want to finish the day? If I don't want to finish the day because I want to keep going with work, it means I'm enjoying the day. So if those two questions are, yes, I want to keep going, and yes, I want to start, I'm obviously having fun and enjoying what I'm doing, which is why I'm making all the videos and why I'm talking really quickly in videos. And I apologize for those that do say that I talk too quickly, but I get enthusiastic when I talk because, like I say, it is fun. So what does that actually look like when it comes to weekly planning? I will have my outputs. So they're the actions that I need to do. So 2 YouTube videos, maybe a client call, or maybe build a website or build a page or something like that. I will have a project outcome, an actionable outcome for that week. Then tasks associated to those projects will be created and put during the week. And during the week, I do the same breakdown. So I will look at progress, I will look at maintenance, and I will look at rest. I won't do progress days all throughout the week. If I have 7 days of progress, I'm going to burn out. I'm going to die from exhaustion, because you're constantly pushing your brain and your body over the limit, and your body won't last. So I periodize my week as well as my mesocycle, the 4 weeks, as well as the quarter, as well as the year. So what that looks like is Monday, I will have a heavy research day. Tuesday, I will then do those tasks. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday, I will rest, but it's an active rest. I'm still doing work, but I'm not doing as much work as the other days, so my body and brain can recoup a little bit. Bearing in mind, we all plan differently, we all work differently, so some of these things may help, some of these things may actually hinder. It's entirely up to you. So this is just a little bit of an insight into my weekly planning. If you want to hear more about productivity apps and how I manage my business, check out one of these 2 videos over here, and I will see you there.